Now, today we will consider the third unit of the syllabus of final year. The name of the unit is Electrical Properties of Material. Before that, to study the electrical property of material, we must know what is electricity, what is the electrical properties of the material. As you know, friends, any material is divided into three parts: solid, liquid, and gases. In this, if you consider the solid material, then we can say that this solid material is also divided into two parts as far as the electricity is concerned. One is conductor and another is non-conducting materials. The problem is that what is meant by conducting materials and what is meant by non-conducting materials. Conducting materials means what? If the electricity is flowing to any material, or we can say that there is a free electron, and this free electron is responsible to carry the current from one place to another. And such material which carry the current from one place to another place, then such material is known as the conducting material. Example of conducting material is that gold and etc. Now the second type of material is known as the non-conducting material, and that material does not conduct the electricity flowing through this material. Why some material are conducting electricity and some material are not conducting the electricity? Because it is depend upon the number of free electron which is present in that material. What is free electron? Free electron, the concept of free is that it is free to move in all possible direction with all possible velocity. It is known as the free. And the potential energy of such free electron is equal to 0. Then we can say that such electron is a free electron. In a simple way, we can say that if the electron is free to move in all possible direction with all possible velocities, is known as the free electron. In a conducting material, there are so many free electrons, and this electron is capable to carry a current from one place to another because they are free. But in bad conductor or non-conducting material, there is no such type of free electrons, and that's why such material does not carry electricity from one place to the another place. Why there are some free electrons in conductor and there is no free electron in the bad conductor? To study such phenomena, we shall to go over the band theory of the solid. This band theory will explain the conducting material, non-conducting material. Non-conducting material is again also two types: semiconductor material and bad conductor. We will consider the structure of the semiconductor is that there are two type of valency band in any material. One is known as the valence band and another is known as the conducting band. Two type of bands are present and that bands are known as valence band and the conducting band. Lower band, which is completely filled with an electron, that band is known as the valence band. And where almost all the places are vacant, non-occupied for the electron, then such a band is known as the conduction band. With this, we can say that valency band is a band which have no free electron. Conduction band is the band which have the free electrons, and there is a difference of energy between the conduction band and the valency band. That difference of the between the two bands, valency band and conduction band, is known as the energy gap. Therefore, we can say that above the energy gap, there is conduction band. Below the energy gap, there is a valency band. This is the band structure of any material. Between conduction band and valency band, there is a energy gap. And this gap, depending upon this gap, we can divide material into three types material. One is conduction band, one is conductor, second is semiconductor, and third is the non-conducting materials. Then what is the definition of the conduction band? Conduction band, conducting material is a material in which the conduction band and the valency band are separated by energy gap. And second thing is that in a non-conducting material, that is the bad conductor, insulator, we can say that the insulator material. In the insulator, what happens? There is a conduction band and there is a valency band also. What happens in case of conductor? The difference between the conduction band and the valency band is very small. Many cases, the valency band is overlap on the conduction band. That therefore, at a room temperature also, the electron from the valency band can easily cross the energy gap and come into the conduction band. There is no requirement of energy to push electron from valency band to the conduction band. Therefore, we can say that the valency band and conduction band in the conductor overlap on each other. But in case of a bad conductor, what happens? The difference between the valency band and the conduction band, that is the energy gap, is very, very high as compared to the conductor material. Therefore, what happens? Electron from the valency band does not cross the energy gap and come into the conduction bands. Therefore, we can say that in a conductor, conducting bands contain a large number of electrons. But in case of the insulating material, the conduction bands are completely empty and valency band is completely filled. And that's why we can say that the valency band containing electrons in the conductor, that conductor is good, known as the good conductor, or it is a good conducting for electricity. But in case of bad conductor, insulator, what happens? There is no electron in the conduction band, and we can say that due to this, the electricity does not, electron does not carry electricity from one place to another. That is the uh, bad conductor, or it is known as the insulator. It is depend upon the energy gap between the conduction band and the valency band. So we can say that in a conducting material, there are large number of free electron, and that free electron helps to carry the electricity to the material. But in case of insulator, there is no free electron in the conduction band, and valency band are completely filled, and the energy gap between the conduction band and valency band is very high, and that's why we can say that insulator does not carry any type of electricity. This is the two types of material: conducting material and insulators. But in between that, what happened? The energy gap overlap. Electron from the valence band easily transferred to the conduction band at its room temperature also. Therefore, if you supply some insulator to energy, then electron from the valency band come to the conduction band, and that electrons are free to move from one place to the another place. But the number of electron, free electron, in case of semiconductor is very, very small as compared to the conductor. Therefore, if you find out the difference between the conductor, insulator, and semiconductor, we can say that number of free electron in conductor is very high. There is no free electron in the conduction band of the insulator, and in case of semiconductor, a small number of electrons which is present in the conduction band. Therefore, the energy gap between the semiconductor is very, very small as compared to the bad conductor. And therefore, if you increase the temperature of the material, if you increase the temperature of the material, then we can say that in a semiconductor material, the electricity will be increases. That is, the number of free electron in the conduction bands will be increases as the temperature increases. So that we can say that the temperature of the material will be increased, electricity will be increases. Just opposite things happen in case of the conductor. What happen in a conductor? If you increase the temperature of the conducting material, the electricity will be decreases. As the electricity will be decreases, the resistivity of the conducting material will be increases. Same thing in an insulator, what happen? As the temperature of the material will be increases, electricity will be increases, and resistivity will be decreases. This is the difference between the semiconducting material and conducting materials. Friends, today we have to consider what are the electrical property of such material, then we have to consider the Drude-Lorentz theory. Drude-Lorentz theory is the theory which capable to tell something about the solid material, that is about the free electrons. According to the Drude-Lorentz theory, what happened? Free electron is a electron which is free to move in all possible direction with all possible velocity. What does it mean? According to the theory, the material have free electron, and that free electron must have total kinetic energy, and it is free to move in all possible direction with all possible velocity. This is the first postulates of the Drude-Lorentz theory. Drude says that as the electron is free, it is means that it is free to move inside the material anywhere with all possible velocity. That electron is known as the free electrons. If it is free electron, we can say that the potential energy of the electron inside the material is zero, or it is constant. And therefore, the electrons have zero potential energy and highest kinetic energy. That electron is free electron, and it is free to move in all possible direction with all possible velocity. This is the second postulate of the Drude theory. What happens if the electron is free? Then there is one question to your mind. If the electron is free, why this electron does not come out from the material, boundary of the material? As we know, electron is free, but it is free only inside the boundary of the material. That means inside the material, electron is free and having zero potential energy. But outside the boundary of the metal, what happens? The potential is infinite. There is therefore so many difference around the boundaries of the material. That is, there are so many difference. We can say that outside the boundary, potential energy is infinite, and below the boundary of the material, the potential energy is zero. Therefore, there is a large energy gap is known as the potential barrier. Due to this potential barrier, electron does not cross the boundary of the metal, and this is known as Drude free electron theory. This electron is moving in all possible direction with all possible velocity. That velocity of the electron is under root 3 kT upon m. And if you want to find out the electron outside the metal of the boundary, then we can say that we must have to supply some energy to the electrons. According to this Drude free electron theory, we have to consider the three definitions which is related to that. That is, the thermal velocity means what, and drift velocity means what. Due to the thermal energies, the electron move with a particular velocity, and it is free to move in all possible direction with all possible velocity. At a thermal energy, the velocity of the free electron acquired by the electron, that velocity is known as thermal velocity of the electron. But second thing is that what is meant by the drift velocity? Drift velocity is another phenomena which is different from the thermal velocity. Thermal velocity is the velocity having energy, electron have energy captured from the material and due to thermal material, and that due to this thermal energy, electron is moving in all possible direction with all possible velocity is known as the thermal velocity. But if you apply, suppose, the potential or battery to the material, one side of the material become positive and second side of material become negative. If you apply the voltage, what happens? Electron does not flow in all possible direction with all possible velocity. Why this happen? Because we have applied externally the potential difference, and that due to this difference, almost all charges will be attracted toward the responsible electrodes. Or we can say that electrons are attracted toward the positive fields, and almost all the electrons acquire some definite direction. As you know, in a free electron, what happens? Electron is free to move in all possible direction with all possible. There is no particular direction. But in case of the drift velocity, electron is moving with a particular velocity in the directions of the electric field. All the electron is going with a particular velocity in the direction of the field. That velocity is known as the drift velocity. That velocity is known as the drift velocity. Again, we shall consider the another definition. What is meant by main free path? As you know, the electron is free to move in all possible direction with all possible velocity. As the electron is free to move in all possible direction with all possible velocity, there is a possibility of सर पे बंद झालं का रेकॉर्ड चालू आहे चालू आहे ना हा बंद कसं करायचं झाल्यानंतर हा हा बरोबर नाही घेतो ऑन करायचं बरं नाउ what is mean free path? If you apply external electric field to the material, then the negative charge is attracted toward the positive plates, and positive charge will be attracted toward the negative plates of the potential. Electrons have a charge negative, and therefore almost all electrons will be attracted toward the positive directions of the field. That is, the velocity of the electron will be modified. That modified velocity is known as the drift velocity. The velocity of the electron in the presence of external magnetic field is known as the drift velocity. Now, what happens? As you know, if the electron is free to move in all possible direction with all possible velocity, then what happens? If there is a possibility of collision of two electrons due to the random velocity of the electrons. Therefore, what happens? Electrons collide on each other, and at the time of collision, they travel some distance. After the collision, that distance is known as the free path. Free path means after the collision of the electrons, the distance traveled by this electron is known as the free path. And there are so many free paths. Then, due to the so many free paths, if you sum up all the path divided by the number, then such free path is known as the main free path. And again, there is a what happened.